really take a step back and look at where we are today in our 25th season and celebrating that accomplishment, you see the original vision, a full illustration of what that looks like. A place where players are developing, coaches are developing, athletic trainers, general managers, executives. We start to realize just how important the league has become over this 25 years, I'd say the basketball world. This is G League Chronicles, presented by Gatorade. In 2001, when the NBA Development League was founded, the purpose then was to be a place where aspiring NBA players could be developed for the NBA. Where we started, 8 teams, mostly in southeastern cities, Roanoke, Virginia, Asheville, North Carolina, Columbus, Georgia. We sit in the NBA offices at that time, those 8 teams, and the league was detached. A big part of the original vision was to be totally integrated, to have 30 NBA teams with G League teams. And going from the D League to the Gatorade League, the G League, and one brought some excitement around our league, but then it was also going on at a time where you saw more NBA teams buying their G League teams and operating their G League teams, being totally connected, and to now have 30 NBA teams connected to G League teams. It really is, just a special time for our league. Within a G League season, and definitely at Showcase, you'll have everything from our G League contracted players, true G League players that are with our teams all the time, young NBA players that are on assignment, two-way players that move in between the G League team and the NBA team, NBA veterans that maybe have been injured and on their way back. I think of Victor Oladipo in this season, who's with the Wisconsin Herd.
Just to introduce yourself, name and team into the camera.
I'm Victor Oladipo. I play with the Wisconsin Herd.
Victor, great to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk a little hoops with you first, so I want you to take me back to your earliest memories.
Earliest memories of basketball would have to be me growing up back in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and just falling in love with the game, wanting to play, and not really wanting to do anything else. Yeah, basketball saved my life, so like so many other young gentlemen, it is a love story.
Listen, man, you played at the highest level. What are the things you're honing on that you need to tweak here to get back to where you were?
Just trust my process. Just trust my journey and my story, and continue to build every day. I could guard the basketball still at a very high level. Defense is great. Leadership skills. I can shoot the basketball, make decisions. I can get in the paint. I think my game speaks for itself. I think everybody knows what I'm capable of. There's been many nights where if I could be vulnerable, there's many nights where, I think about stopping, and because I don't have to, not by any stretch of the imagination, I don't have to at all. But it's just not who I am. I do this because I want to be a light for people. Unfortunately, we've normalized negativity and doubt and fear. And when you look within yourself and you find yourself again, you can overcome anything. And I want to show people that I did that, but most importantly, I want to give them the strength and the courage to do it within themselves.
Showcase the G League overall is really, I call it people development. You have countless now assistant coaches and NBA head coaches that have gotten their start in the G League. So you'll have coaches, all of our officials now having the opportunity to grow and develop. You know, front office folks spending time with us, trainers.
My name is Jasmine Brown, and I'm the head athletic trainer for the Osceola Magic. Honestly, it's basically just caretaker for almost everyone, if we're being real. It's not just the athletes, it's making sure everybody's good. And sometimes it's not even just medically, sometimes it's making sure people's minds are good. That'd be the big over-encompassing definition. I think I have a unique position to be able to show a level of TLC because I'm a woman, but I'm also gritty too. So there are a few other female athletic trainers as well that are heads, but not very many. I do have a few other mentors as well, but most of them are women athletic trainers, and I love it. And they help pour into me, especially in moments where I feel like, dang, I wish I was respected a little more, and they're like, Jasmine, you're fine, and you can command that respect. My biggest thing is like the details matter. The littlest thing is going to affect how they can perform on the court. So we try to make sure that there's waters and Gatorades at their easiest convenience. I think the G League allows for more grace in order to grow. So you can make a mistake here or there and be able to take the time to learn from it before your mistake could be detrimental up top. And so I actually really appreciate being in this environment. I think there's also a level of grit being here because I'm not just an athletic trainer when I'm here. I'm also assisting with equipment. I help rebound in workouts. Sometimes I'm in the workout, but it's one of those like all hands on deck. Wherever you need me, I'll be there. And so I appreciate the level of work ethic I have to have here because then I take it up top and then I honestly have fun being busy. So being there, being up top and people being able to see that like, oh, she's willing to do anything and everything. And yeah, I am. I also want to be great. And so to me, being great is being great at the highest level.
The first pick ever of the then D League draft was Chris Anderson, who went on to be an NBA champion and have a great NBA career. We now have had over 1,000 players that started as G League players that have reached their dream of being NBA players. That's beyond special to know that that's something that our league has helped facilitate.
Well, I didn't come back to the G League to stay in the G League, and that's everybody's mindset here, and that's with all due respect to the G League. Like, I love it. Talent-wise, I think it's the second best league in the world, and I've played EuroLeague, and EuroLeague is amazing. Kyle Guy from Noblesville Boom, born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, went to University of Virginia, back in the G League. I mean, you look at me and there's no way you'd think I was ranked 25th in the country. But when I was in high school, senior year, there's pretty much 3 big awards you can get: Mr. Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year, or McDonald's All-American. Those were like the trifecta. Not many people do all 3. And so I always said, like, I don't want to leave any doubt. Like, I'm the best player in the state. And so getting Gatorade Player of the Year was actually the last one that I got. And that was maybe the most fulfilling because it completed that trifecta. I set 3 goals going into college, and one of them was to get drafted. So when the Kings took a chance on me, it was awesome, super surreal. And then my 3rd year, after the Kings waived me, I went to Cleveland on Exhibit 10, got a 10-day with the Heat from there, another 10-day with the Heat, then signed a 2-way. So I've signed every contract you can damn near sign in the NBA, so in the G League. I had my first son that year with Cleveland. He was born like 2 days before I went to training camp. So that's just the life of a basketball player in general. So then I went overseas after that year, played in Badalona, which is basically Barcelona in Spain. And then I went from there to Greece, and my family was not with me there. And then I left halfway through my time in Greece and went to Tenerife. At the end of that year, even though I led the entire continent in scoring, I decided to step away and take some time off. I had missed my second son's birth while I was in Tenerife. I felt that I had crossed the line of why I played basketball, and I wasn't having fun with it. And so I decided to take a break. Coming back to basketball, I just keep falling in love with it more and more every day. I was not looking for it, and maybe that's why I love it so much, is because it loves me unconditionally. I guess you could say basketball does, because when you treat it the right way, you get good things from it. Showcase is one of my favorite times also, because basketball brings people together, and there's thousands of people here that you've never met or you have met, and it's just a big reunion. So love it, love the G League, love Showcase.
I'd say a big part of who we are as a league, the G League, is testing and innovating. And I do know for a fact that as the NBA went through their process of the Emirates Cup and the early tournament, there's always some data points that you can take from what we did in the G League. So our showcase tournament, that is the start of our season, the first 14 games. We divide our teams up into 4 regional pods. The top 8 teams during that tournament portion, when we go to showcase, they compete for our Winter Showcase Cup.
It's kind of like the NBA Cup. I just came from Vegas to the NBA Cup with our main team, and then now our G League team, Austin, we're also in the showcase. So, we're going to try to make up for the loss that we had in the championship against the Knicks with the main team and get the win up here.
I'm Harrison Ingram from the San Antonio Spurs and Austin Spurs, and I'm on a 2-way contract. It's definitely a unique experience because you feel like you're on both teams, but you're really not on both teams, but you are on both teams, you know what I mean? And you'll go back and forth, you'll miss practices from both teams, you'll miss games from both teams, you're just kind of you're learning from the big club, and you're also getting good reps down in the G League, so it's kind of just like in a limbo. I think it's more about just being where your feet are, as cliche as people say. If you're in the NBA playing, or if you're on the bench, if you're not dressed out, you're there, you're present. If you're in the G League, you're present, you're getting your good reps, you're getting your minutes in, and then the main thing is always working, getting that work in, and making sure that I'm in the G League, doing stuff down here that I would be asked to do up there. Not taking a bunch of shots or acting like it's my team, because up there I'd be off the ball. You're not trying out to be the star, give me the ball player. You're trying out to be one of the men who's a rotation player. You're making all the extra hustle plays, taking charges, rebounding. Whatever it is, that's the role you're trying out for. It's definitely a blessing. It's down here developing in the G League. You get a lot of leeway, you get a lot of runway to make mistakes, learn, work on the stuff, work on defensive concepts, work on picking up full court. You might get beat a few times, but I'm always working to get this 2-way converted.
I will give our 2-way players a lot of credits. I think it's not easy, to adapt to one team. They do it with both teams. And when they come down to the G League, they have to perform. And it's not easy. Hi, my name is Gorgi Jang. I'm the assistant GM for Austin Spurs. My goal was to play 10 years in the NBA, and God helped me to accomplish that. And I always tell my friends and my surrounding, I just want to play 10 years. And I think that's the way I shape things for myself. I think 10-year experience is enough for everything. After that, I didn't know what to do. Be right, a good friend just helped me. I went to start with him. He kind of guided me to this, give me this job. He said, you give it a try and see if you like it. On the front office stuff, yes, everything was new. But basketball is basketball, man. Talent don't hide. The NBA is very tight, 30 teams, 15 guys on the roster, and there is more talent than that.
We're going to overtime in our first quarterfinal. So the target score, 119. First to 119 here wins. Harrison Ingram. Jump stop. Ingram, close range look, got it.
Nice job by Ingram playing off 2 feet, getting to the reversal. Both teams a field goal away from advancing to the semifinals.
Carter's got it. Carter into the paint. Carter scores! And Stockton wins!
We had a good start to the season. Our goal was to come in here, win the whole showcase. We already lost the first game in overtime, but season starts now, and now it's time to move on.
There is someone who's dreaming to that every single day to get one season in the NBA. So I don't take that for granted. I love helping these players. I always believe a successful person is not a person that just make a lot of money and do everything for himself. If you can make impact in other people's life, I don't think you are successful.
It's been a journey. I've been a player, I've been a coach, I've worked in the front office with a team. I've now been here at the league office almost 10 years as an executive, the president of the G League. So it's been something that I've been able to, through the game of basketball, continue to demonstrate my passion, my joy, my love for the game with the purpose of our league of developing players, people, and there's been synergies between what our mission is as the G League and what Gatorade stands for.